All right, guys. So, welcome. Good morning. Good morning. I want to welcome you to my humble abode again. The RowserWorld show. I am Mr. Rouser, and it is such a joy to be here with you today, to be able to draw some more cartoons and to also just, share the love of God, man. Because it's always awesome for us to be able to do that. So today, guys, what is our stream going to be about? We're going to, hey, what's going on? Hey, okay. This morning, our stream is going to be dealing with drawing more expressive eyes. So I'm really going to be drawing through the whole caricature, but when we get to the eyes, we'll talk a little bit more about that and talk and just kind of show you some tricks and tips that I like to use to be able to get a pretty decent caricature. If you guys have been with me for a while, you'll know that I don't really have a taste for the super exaggerated cartoons. That's just not the way that I do it. But if you are a super exaggerative caricature artist, it's nothing wrong with that. Um, I think you need to have your head examined, but that's okay. Messing with you. But if you are that type, that's okay. I believe that some of the tips, tricks, and principles that are let me move this over some here. I tried to move it over that are available to you in this stream are going to help you as well. Okay, so guys, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to just pick up a model here. I'd like to go ahead and warm up to, it is now 9:54. So we need to be finished by 10:54 or somewhere after that time, maybe about 10:04, 11:04, somewhere around there. We'll be finished. Okay. All right. So go ahead and get your pen out, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. Okay. All right. So for my warm up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to. I guess I'll warm up by drawing this guy here. This is Richard Pryor. This was from back in the day. So we're going to go ahead and start with him. And you can draw with a pencil or a pen, whichever one is the most comfortable for you. I like to use pencils. So we're going to use I'm going to get my pencil. I like to use markers too, but we're just going to use a pencil just to warm ourselves up. Y'all give me a minute to sharpen up here. Okay. All right. So here we go, guys. So we're going to start here with the eyeballs. One of my simplest way of doing the eyeballs is just to make everybody have circles in their eyes. I mean, that's just kind of the way. It's just kind of the way it works, right? You can do something like this, right? Dun, dun. And again, this is just a warm up, but I like to use circles. This is, again, if you're really just starting caricature, there's nothing wrong with using these circles because that's what you have. You have eyeballs, right? Eyeballs, and balls are usually round, right? I think eyeballs are round, right? So if you want to do that, you can, right? Let's go ahead and put this chin shape here. A nice round U shape. Okay. And then we got his afro over here. Then you guys don't know about Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor he's an old school comedian. If you're younger, you already know what I'm talking about, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and just wrap this around my head here. And then once I wrap it around, then I'll come back here and do a 2-layer wrap, right? One thing I've learned about drawing over the years is really just doing this is really a matter of how well you can copy exactly what you see. Like, can you see something and then and then do it. Right? You know, copy it exactly like it is. That's really what this is all about here. Right? Okay, let me see here. I got some commentary here. Let me go ahead and okay, what's going on over here on TikTok? We got a lot of people over there. Jing, how are you today? All right, we got a lot of people on TikTok. Not so many people on YouTube today. Everybody must be at work right now. Either that, right? Yeah, it must be at work right now. Anyway, um, so this is the easiest way to do it. You know, try to use, I try to find a shape that I like. And then whatever shape it is that I like, right? Then I just I kind of use that idea for as the basis for most of my eyes. So circles again are going to be the ones that I prefer to use because they're much more cartooned in nature. Um, they have that whimsicalness that you want, and plus there's so much diversity you can do with these if you really just sit down and practice with them. You can do all kinds of stuff here. Okay. All right. Let me turn down the music. Some of these songs are a little louder than others, so I don't want to mess up the sound here. Okay. And you guys can hear me pretty good. I just want to make sure if you guys can just give me a thumbs up on YouTube, especially because sometimes I know you guys we can't hear you. All right. So I just want to make sure that you can hear. Okay. And there we go, guys. We did our little quick expressive eye drawing, right? By using a simple circle, right? I could have did a little bit different on that nose right there. I could have made this nostril a little bit more up like this. the Yeah, there we go. Now if I make that nostril a little bit more up, right, it'd be all right. Okay. All right. So that's my quick cartoon of Richard Pryor. Right. Let me go ahead and just make this a little bit smaller here. Okay. Uh, we have our jacket here. So this jacket really, if I think about it like a thing kind of going around the neck, right? When you think of clothes, a lot of times we don't think of clothes as things that wrap around the body, but literally that's what they're doing. They're wrapping around the body, and if you can get it to wrap around the body, well, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. You can make cartoons out of very simple situations, right? Okay, so if you again just think about that wrapping around of the body, and that's going to really help you out. Okay, all right, so that's our first drawing. That's just a little warm up right there. Let's just go ahead and sign it real quick, and then we'll go to our next drawing. Okay, let me cancel that. I don't want to do that. All right, let's see if we can find some expressions here. Okay, let's see here. Now this one's a pretty cool one, right? It's like a little. It's actually it looks like it's some type of well, I can't do it. I can't do that one actually. Let's see. What about this guy? Okay, I know I picked him because he has a lot to work with in his caricature. So my thing is to take a picture that I know another caricature artist would just lose it on his face. They would just do you know what I mean? But the challenge is to make the guy look really good. You get what I'm saying? So this is what we're going to do here. I'm going to switch up here over to my Sharpie. Okay. And then we're going to try that one. So that's our first drawing there. All right, and we're going to go with our marker here now. Okay. All right. So what would I do with this face right here? First thing again, let's establish his eyebrows here. I want something that's kind of bushy, but also a little small and a little pushed together. Now, when I get to the eyes here, what I would want to look for here for this shape, I want to look for, I wouldn't use a circle per se for this one, or I could. This is what I could do. I could draw the line, right? I could draw this line here, and then from underneath that, just draw my circle here, but it has to be very small, like a little circle like this. And so you can see that the circle kind of comes from underneath a shape right here. So that's a way we could do that. And then we'll just go ahead and make this nose here. You know what we see here? I see that weight nose. It's a weighted nose. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of concentrate in on the middle portion of the drawing here. Okay. And from there, I'll go ahead and just put the bridge of my nose here. That's going to kind of just go right in between here. So you'll notice a lot of things are very tight right in this area right here. So it's a lot of squishiness right there that we want to get. You know, he's got some wrinkles right there. And I feel like once I get that part of the drawing, then I can just go and it's nothing I can't do from that point, you know? So let's see here. Let's go ahead and I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and make a mustache here. Okay, so we're going to make that mustache. And usually what I want to do is I want to make everything, I know his features taper and stay in the middle of his face, and maybe I might want to stay with that. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw his mustache a little bit more connected to the nose than it is in the picture, because I'm not trying to draw it exactly like that. And then what that's going to allow me to do is allow me to just kind of abbreviate things here. And so this way I'm going to draw the top. I'm just going to draw the bottom of the lip kind of just coming out. I'm going to kind of avoid the top lip. It really doesn't matter. And then I just put the teeth like right in here, you see, and then we got the tongue shape. So we really, as caricatures, we got to learn when to leave things out. You really don't need that top lip there. It's not going to kill his likeness or anything like that. That's what I would do. Okay. Now we're going to go, once we finish that, we want to now go and isolate our chin, because his head needs to go inside of this big idea. So we want to go here, come around, and we want that chin to be hanging, but that's not the bottom of his face. The bottom of his face, we're going to go from his eye shape, right? But then we're going to kind of go down and straight into his collar. So you can see here, I actually could have made that a lot wider than what I did it, but that's okay. Again, I'm always shooting to kind of gratify, so I'm going to change this guy. I'm going to give him a little cartoon makeover here. All right, now, ooh, man, I should have went bigger with that. I don't know how I'm going to. Okay, so what I'm going to have to really do to compensate for what I did by not going as fat as I wanted to go, I'm going to have to really foreshorten his head a lot. Okay, so foreshortening means that when you first start drawing caricature, you might not have a concept of this, but I try to imbalance the head. So I look at the head as two different shapes. So I want one part of the head to be balanced, so and then more or bigger than the other. So here is my hairline, right? This is his hair, and you'll see here that I'm just going to go ahead and come right back into the head, but with not much of a forehead shape. I don't want a big forehead, because again, I'm trying to compensate for how I made this small. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and draw the ears very little in comparison to the head shape, because the smaller you make things around a big object, the bigger the object you want to look big looks bigger. Does that make sense? It's kind of like and I know I don't really want to say this, but all right, they say I'm not going to say that. In fact, I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is that if you hang around, if you're a really tall person or if you're just semi-tall, right, and you hang out with short people, right, all your friends are short, it's going to make you look exponentially taller when you go somewhere with them. Is that? I guess that makes sense, right? All right. Okay. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw the top of my hair shape, which to me, a lot of times we want to make sure that our picture translates from a distance, and that's another concept that I teach in my classes. If you ever want to take a class with me, you can learn to draw a caricature. You learn that your picture needs to translate from a distance. So things that you can't see, if you're far away from a person, you generally can leave out of the caricature. You don't need that. But sometimes when we draw, I get it. You want to put all these details because you're like super studying the face. And at some level, you might think that those things have something to do with the likeness of the person, but it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. Hey, what's going on? How are you guys doing over here on TikTok? So we got a pretty good crowd over here on TikTok. I got my little screen down here, guys. So we got Harry Potluck, Carlina. Who we got? Moss Man. Awesome. Who else we got off in here? I don't know. I don't even see who we got. Shaven half hair. Harry Potluck. What's going on, Harry Potluck? That's my name. My name's Harry. Right? I got a flash goal. Let me see. What kind of flash goal do I have started? Let's just do it. Pin it. Let's do it. We got a flash goal. Okay. All right. Let me see here. All right. Let's go to our bottom half. So what I want to do here is I want to like, again, make it look like this shape is wrapping around. So anytime I'm drawing a body or whatever, I want my shape to wrap around the body and then come back out to where it's supposed to be going. So what I did was I created the open part of the shirt first, right? And then from the open part of the shirt, then I come and I go over here and I say I want this to wrap around the body now. Okay? Once I wrap it around, then I'll come back and I'll go like this and connect it. Because see, this is all wrapping. You see? Like that. So you got your open part of the shirt right here. Okay? And now you got this. Okay? Let me see here. Okay. Hey. Okay, so let's see here what we got. We got one new message. I don't know what that is, but I guess I'll find that out later on. I don't know if that's going to mess anything up if I look at the message right now, so I'm not going to do it. But let me see. Okay. Oh, let me see. Hey, what's going on, Kalina? How are you today? All right. So now that we're finished we're pretty much done with this one. I mean, all we have to do is just, and now you see how what I got away with when I made this. Now, actually, the face looks better. So even though in the face I didn't make it as wide as I wanted to make it, it still showed up pretty good on my drawing. So I'm pretty pleased with that, right? Okay, let me see here. I just want to make sure that we got. Oh, okay, we good. Okay, I just want to be sure that's okay. All right. Okay, now let's go ahead and do some shadows very quickly. So our shadows are going to be done with a gray Crayola marker here. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. We're gonna go ahead and just kind of put some shadows around here, just some very limited ones, because again, you don't want to do too much work, more work than you have to do. I just really love this type of art because it's so, it's really about a lot of decision making. It makes you a better decision maker because you can't go back and, number one, you can't erase when you, especially I like to use markers, so I do that on purpose so that I can't erase, right? But still, it makes you think. There's so many ways to draw a caricature. I could have drew this guy a lot of different ways. But what I do, again, is I just kind of generally keep it simple so that it doesn't, hey, what's going on, Moss Man? And you know what? Look, I'm down. Let's become street. That's what I am. I mean, at the end of the day, we are street artists. That's what we do. We draw. I go out and I draw for people on the street. You know what I'm saying? And so definitely you're in the right place, my friend, if you want to learn more about caricature. In fact, as soon as we finish this one, I'll go ahead and give you guys a little information that you may be interested in. Okay? And so I'm just going to put a little bit of curls up here in the hair with my gray. Right? And you see how, like, I'm just doing something that looks like that. Very similar style to Bob Ross. If you guys have ever watched any of Bob Ross's videos, he does a lot of impressionism art. So I like impressions. I like to give impressions. moments, right? You know, let's see here what we got. Are you using the marker on the side to get a bolder line? I tried this on Saturday and I failed. Okay, face my canvas. I will. That's how are you today? Okay, and I'll get back actually to I'll get back to you. I know you messaged me last time about getting that other class. So, but let me answer your question for you, and then I'll get to that email today once I'm finished. I had a function to attend last night, so I was unable to get back to you. Now, the answer to your question: am I holding the marker on the side to get the bolder line? Yes, yes and no. I simply I'm going to tell you what I do. I press harder. So if we'll put this one aside. Let's go ahead and save our. Let's go ahead and save it real quick. Okay, and I get my Sharpie out. All right, let's pick up another face, and then I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna literally go through the process with you, okay? And then I'll talk you through it just a little bit because so you can get a little practice in, okay? All right, so let me make this a little bit smaller here. All right, let's go over to any one of these pictures. I gotta have it, man. I gotta have this guy. Okay, what about this guy right here? Oh, let's see. These guys all have unique faces. What about that guy? That guy right there has a pretty unique face. Okay, so the answer to the question is I just kind of press harder. Okay, let's go. Let's go ahead and get into the facial features first. Okay, so with this picture right here, I'm looking, and the first thing that stuck out to me was this forehead with all these lines in it. All right, so what I could do, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make that part the focal point of my drawing. So this might be the wrinkles in his forehead, right? And then once I get to that part, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and do this here. Okay. Okay, we're going to use an L kind of a shape, right? Okay, Heather, you remember that? So we're using our L right here, Heather, okay? And we're pressing a little bit harder to make that. Now with Sharpies, you're going to be limited as far as your lines. They're not going to go much bigger than these right here, but you know, you can go from here and then obviously you can go backwards. And so when I'm making thinner lines, I like to use, I bring my hand into the end of the pencil, and I like to hold the pencil in the black, or my marker in the black area. When you hold the marker in the black area, you'll see here, watch, that I'm able to really control the line width of my drawing. I'm not, and also remember what I told you in class, to keep your hand always laying down on your paper, and so that you can have more control, so that most of your work is being done by your shoulder and your think about your shoulder and your elbow. Okay, and this part of your arm, my arm here, is generally rested. It's rested on the paper. So I'm kind of almost pulling like this a lot. Okay, and then the other motion my hand I like to make is the motion from here. Okay, so if I got the motion from here and my hand is on the paper, it's giving me a gut. That's how my lines look very steady, because I give my arm an anchor point to be able to pull from. Okay. Let's see here. Chicago. How are you today, Chicago? What's going on? Chicago. Okay, how you doing, man? And yeah, I believe I can put you down as I got a little request list going on here. I got you. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead from this part. Now what we can do here is we got these eyes. Now with these eyes, this is what I do. I'm gonna go with something that's like I would want to go with an oval shape here. So I want something that's ovally and that points downwards, and then with a high top on it, right? So this way you can see his eyes get that look of, you know, of downness and sadness, right? So that's again the power up the circle. I like to use his nose. Even though you can't really see this in the front, his nose is actually coming from here and going down. So because it looks so full, in this area here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a reverse line. So basically, your logical mind is saying to draw the line like this and then come down, like go this way and come down, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go against the line and I'm going to go outwards, and watch the effect that it has on the nose, right? So this is an example of drawing opposite of what you're seeing in real life, okay? So here we go. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to go up here. And you see what that does is it gives the nose more of the spaciness that he has. You get what I'm saying? And then you just kind of let it go all the way up to the bridge. You almost leave out the fact that you want to basically accent the fact that his nose is basically attached to his eyebrows in this manner. You get what I'm saying? But it looks opposite when you look. If you study the picture, you're not looking at what it feels like. You're looking at what it looks like. And so you'll get that wrong. Caricature is one of the things in life that it'll teach you how to draw with faith. And faith is to draw something that you can't see in front of you, right? It's not readily apparent from the eyesight is what I mean. You get what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on, pal? How are you today? All right. Now from here, we're just going to zoom back out. And what I would do here with this one is we got some things coming from underneath things. So what I would do, what I would want to do here, I would want to try to build that mouth. I don't know how well this is going to work, but this is what I'm thinking. As I want to put a little drop down here, okay, and a little drop down here, right? And this is going to be my top lip. I'm not going to go to the bottom lip yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the teeth. Again, holding my marker in that black area to get those teeth in there, right? But then I'll come down here and I'll draw a pipe and bring it back in. Once I have the pipe in there, then I concern myself with making the pipe look dimensional. So I draw the overall idea first. And then from there, you can see this is coming from underneath there. That means that I'm going to have to go backwards here. And these teeth down here are going to be significantly smaller, therefore giving us some dimension in our drawing, right? And now, if you look, I want to basically, this part of his face is going to be smaller than this part. So I'm going to foreshorten the chin. So even though there's a substantial amount of chin there, I'm going to go ahead and make the decision to leave it out, okay? So I'm going to go here. You see how I just foreshortened that right there? So now that's giving this impression that when I get down here, watch what happens with my face shape as I come out now and obey everything that I did. I'm going to go more into like an arrow type of a situation. Okay? And you can see how everything is kind of just flows back together, right? Now you got your this little piece right here that comes off of the head, and then you have these big earlobes that are down here. Okay, and remember, because I shortened the bottom of the face, the earlobes are going to appear to drop down to the bottom of the face a little bit more than normal. And then it's going to go into our neck shape. Okay? All right, now, once we do that, now we're going to add a little age to the guy's face. So we're just going to outline our circles, right? And we're going to give him some smile lines around the mouth, which automatically are going to add age to your picture when you do something like this. Okay, that's why if you don't want to make somebody look old, you really need to minimize how many lines you put here in the middle. Okay. Let me see here. Let me see what we got here. Okay. Oh, thank you there. Hey, all right. Let me see. Just got a gift. I used to watch you back in elementary school. Oh my goodness. That's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. Somebody watching me since elementary school. That's good, man. All right, now let's just take a quick intermission, guys. I want to give you guys some information that I feel like be beneficial for you. So first off, I am a art teacher, so I do teach art online. So you can have the opportunity. We can sit down and have an opportunity to speak one another, and you can ask all the questions you want to ask. I do have a course where I teach this. So if you want to be into street art, caricature art, you want to learn how to do this, I feel like I can get you there pretty quick. If you're patient and you practice and you attend my classes, you're gonna definitely step your game up. So those classes can be booked at RowserWorld.com/classes. Just go over there and check it out. And again, learn to draw caricatures. The second thing that I wanted to show you guys is our Patreon page. So RowserWorld is a ministry that me and my wife started to spread the gospel with, but we do it through art. So we do want to give you guys extend the opportunity for you to become part of our Patreon family. What this will entail is basically you'll get access to some videos that I haven't put on YouTube that are going to specifically deal with caricature, and it's going to, really help you to step your game up. So if you want to have access to those videos, this is definitely the place you want to be. Also, I do have behind the scenes stuff. I share a little bit of my life, as a older father. What's it like to be an older dad and have to raise kids? What's it like to be in ministry? What's it like to see a young man? I remember a long time ago, I had a young man that really youngster that wanted to commit suicide. And he came to our channel one day. I was doing the word of the day, and the young man gave his life to God and decided that he wanted to live. And I've had parents write me stuff like that, so that's really what motivates me to do this. Is that I know art is an outlet for many young children that are going through a lot of things mentally, emotionally, and in this terrain that we're in right now in this world, it's kind of, so that's some of the stuff that we do in our Patreon page. So I'm not going to take up all your drawing time talking about that, but I want to give you some information about what you can expect to receive when you go to Patreon. Okay. And then we have the last thing here is tips. So if you guys feel as if you're being blessed by this information that I'm sharing with you today, and excuse me one sec, let me turn down my lighting. Okay, I just turned it down just one quick. All right, and you want to tip, you can tip as well, guys. So thank you very much. All right, so let's go ahead and get back into our drawing. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this guy up real quick. We're going to go ahead and just kind of shadow in his eyebrows a little bit. Just keep track of that time. Okay. And let me see here. You know what? I'm going to put a little bit of hair back here just to go down into this part. There we go. Okay. So now at the end, again, we'll add some shadows and stuff to our drawing to make our drawing come out a little bit more. So we'll just see how, and I'm going to show you see how these lines of the circles around the eyes here are what really threw you off in the middle of the picture. It's because you're seeing circles next to this shape. Your eyes automatically don't pick it up. And so you try to draw the line in a way where it bottles in and comes back out. And then you wind up getting the wrong look. So this is basically a shortcut to get there a lot faster. And then we just add some simple shadows to the drawing. Okay, up here we can add shadow very close to the hair. And what this is going to do is this, because this guy has a bald head, basically not a bald head, but he has a setback hairline. You can see here by doing this, I'm able to outline the hairline first before. And this way, when I go out here, things get a lot thinner and curlier, and it looks a lot less, worked. You don't want to have too much work in your drawing. Okay. All right. So that is picture number 2. I wonder why my lights keep doing that. I get so disturbed with these lights all up. Hold up. Okay, I'm just turning them down just a bit because all right. Yeah, one day I'm going to go in here and get these lights. All right, now, I'm sorry, guys, about the lighting situation. Again, I've been saying I'm going to get some other light bulbs. I'm going to get rid of these light bulbs because they got this remote where you can turn them up and down, but they overheat too fast. So they're really, it's like I don't want lights that overheat. Like what's going on here, right? All right. All right, so let me see here. Let me um, go ahead here and go to our next drawing and see if we got any comments here just to make sure. Okay, I have to use different words or else you get flagged. Oh, Joe. Joe, let me see what you're talking about here, Joe. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I don't know. Hold on, let me see. I'm trying to see what's going on here. All right, hold on. I'm trying to go down here. Okay. Hey, thank you, Nico. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you, Nico. Okay, fan in the fan club. Okay. Charlie Jackson sent a heart me to your live. Give them a shout out. Oh, okay. What's going on, Charles? Real quick, just want to give a shout out to you. Thank you, Charles. He sent a heart to me. I got a, okay, cool. I got one of those. Oh, snap. I think I got one of them. It doesn't tell me how many I got, but you guys are definitely trying to help me hit my goal here, so I appreciate you. Okay. All right, let's go down here and see who else we got. What else we got? Did you put me on the request list? Yes. Bruce, you said you wanted me to do who was that? Who was that again? Because I didn't get to write it down. I use the S word. Okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah, the S word. Superman. Gotcha. Okay. So what are we gonna hold on a second, guys? I'm gonna go ahead and turn it all the way up. And then I'll just deal with it. I'll just have to tie everything down. Hold on, let me turn up my lights again. Hold on, guys. Do 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 do. I'm trying to turn up my thing on YouTube here. Just give me a sec. Okay, and I'm gonna go over here to brightness and contrast. Oh, I had the picture right, but then all of a sudden, when the light started messing up, the cameras just start freaking out and all of that stuff. Let me see what. Maybe if I turn up my exposure. Boop. Oh, there it is. Okay, apply. Okay. All right, and then close. All right, cool. I just needed to turn up my exposure. Okay, I was wondering why my lights wasn't coming in so well. All right, let me see here. Okay, it's the one where they unallowed. Okay, tsunami. Oh, I get what you mean. That word. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. No, we. It all depends, I think, with this thing on how you talk about that. That's you know, it's a very uh, it's a very sensitive word if you use it in the wrong context. I believe anything can be talked about online. I think it kind of picks it up. But this is more like, again, we don't want anybody to ultimately do anything like that. So when we talk about it, we always talk about it in a light where we can help people not to do things like that because it's not. Hold on a second. Let me go here and change this one too. Looks like I might need to get my exposure up on this one too. Okay, and then apply and okay, close. All right, there we go. I just need to turn my exposure up on both of those right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into our next drawing. And somebody said it was on the request list. I can't remember. Oh, Paul McCartney. That's what you asked for, Paul McCartney. Was am I correct? That's who you asked for? All right, let me see if I can find a picture of Paul McCartney real quick. Paul Paul McCartney. All right, so we got a picture of Paul McCartney. Are we looking at Paul McCartney from back in the day, or are we talking about Paul McCartney from right now? Yeah, hold on a second. All right, let's see here. Back in the day, Paul McCartney. Okay, so that would probably be this Paul McCartney here. Then I'm trying to find one where they had one with him smiling, maybe. Yeah, because the other one he looked kind of. Let me see. I think this one looks cool right here. That one looks cool too. This one looks cool. Let me see. Yeah, man, Paul McCartney was a good-looking guy back in the day. I can see why the Beatles were so famous. Right? It's what happens to us all, man. We start getting older. I like this one right here. I think I like this one. That one looks like a good picture of it. All right, so we're going to try to do. This is what we're going to try to do. Okay, we're going to take our marker here. Let's see what we got here. And what I'm going to do is I want a shape that's like this here. I'm going to do. I'm going to go with my jawline here. You know what I thought of when I drew his jawline? I thought of a one of the bullet those you ever seen them Bullets? Those it looked like a thing you can make milkshakes in, right? Like the bottom part of it. That's what I thought about. Like his face looks like a Bullet, right? So I'm gonna give him a little bit longer of a neck because I'm a cartoon artist, right? So because this way I can show off the turtleneck, right? Wrapping around. And then remember, this shape is just a wrap around. Everything is just wrapping around, right? And then even the shoulders are wrapping around something. So if you think about a wrap around, your drawing of your half body becomes a lot easier that way. Okay. Yeah. Looks like a Bullet. Okay. Then my hair is going to be, I'm going to go ahead and since I know my eyes are going to go right about here, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to again make my line translate from a distance. So I want to go here, but I want to go straight across, right? And make just a straight line here. See, you can overlap the line later on when you want, but you want to try to get the basic shape in there at first because this is going to be the easiest way to do it. Okay, let me. I think my music just went out. Hold on a second. Where's my music at? Oh, I gotta. Okay. Do do do. All right. Let me see here. Okay, now let me go ahead and do the top of the head. So I think if we're looking at it from the top, I'm gonna say his. Um, I don't want. I don't know. Do I want to? I think in this decision right here, the best thing to do is to make this kind of an equilateral, or maybe even foreshorten the top of the head to the bottom. I think I'm going to go with a foreshorten. So I'm not going to make this. So if this shape is this big, basically, if I do like this, I don't want a shape that's going to be as big as what I've established here. You get what I'm saying? So if you see this shape is like that big, so this shape, if I go like here, I'm going to be way too big. So what I want to do is I want to make my shape down here somewhere. You see what I'm saying? And then come around like this and wrap around the head. You see? So you see how if you stay lower than the shape, okay, then it's easier. And then here, see, you can do this now at the end. You don't really need to put that in the beginning of the drawing. Here goes an earlobe over here we couldn't see. And then you got like this little piece of hair that just is coming from behind the back of Paul McCartney's head, okay? Now that we have that shape, what we want to do is we want to draw the eyes and get the expression. So what I'm going to do again here, Paul McCartney has a very U-shaped eyebrows to me, but or you know what, they could be claw shaped too. So I'm gonna do like a little claw shape here. Okay, And then from that claw shape, I'm going to go also with maybe a little bit of I'm going to go in an oval shape here. So I'm going to make my ovals just kind of go down. Okay. Then once I have that, what I can do is I can put this part over the top like this, right? And then give him some eyes here. Okay. You see? So if you keep your shapes within your sphere of competence, that's going to help you to draw better. If you're drawing a shape that you don't have any competence in drawing, right, then you can't do that. Okay. Now with this nose here, Paul McCartney doesn't have a nose that connects to his brow. He has a one that connects between the eye. There's a distinction between that. And so what I want to do here is I'm going to use I'm trying to think what the name of that, but I'm just going to use a L shape here. Okay. And then once I have the L shape, that's all I need. I kind of like to cheat with it. So I'll just put like a little bit of the nose shape here. It's a little bit of a 3/4 V, right? And then we just go with a drop down, and he has a very small mouth. So we want to make sure that we kind of turn up that smile a little bit, right? Like that. And then we got this big chin here, right? Okay. So you see, this is a really, really, really easy and simple Paul McCartney picture. You don't really need a whole bunch of bells and whistles to be able to draw him if you keep it simple. And then as you get more experience, you'll be able to, hey, thank you for the lightning bolt. I appreciate lightning bolts. Charles, thank you. Right. So you with these eyes again, okay, your circles and these are going to be your best friends because you can do so much with them. You can change angles on them. You can put like eyes down here. You can put eyes up here. You know what I mean? You can put the eyes here and go down here and do like that. There's so many ways that you can manipulate the same shape over and over again to get different drawings. So that's really a good thing to know. Again, guys, if you want to take classes with me, I do have classes, the one-on-one. So if you want to learn a little bit more about caricature, and you might want to hurry up and get on the class wagon, because I'm going to tell you, God's been blessing me with we've been having more students here lately. So my schedule has been like, it's been filling up. But I think that, I'm going to tell you what I think. I think that when I changed my perspective about why I was doing this art stuff, right? When it became about helping other people to get better, it made me see art differently, like the actual idea of drawing. It's like we were talking about this in church yesterday about how God can give you a supernatural. Like people say, oh, you got to go to school, or you got to learn this, or you got to have that, or there's no way you could do this unless you've gone through this particular training, right? And I'm like, that's not true in every case. Humanly speaking, I would think that's true, but spiritually speaking, it's not. I believe that you can be given a supernatural wisdom to look at something, and a wisdom that surpasses your years. So when I started doing this, it was, I can remember my drawings being distinctively different. I can remember a lot of the hard, it was very hard for me to understand what I was doing. And the reason that was is because I was a portrait artist. So portrait artists, we tend to look for we tend to look for all these details in the drawing, right? And that are not necessary to what you look like. Kind of like life. We look at life a lot of times and we say, we get attached to the physical world, right? And so we think that we are nothing if we don't have everything that everybody else has, which a lot of the times when you have a lot of things, it complicates your life. It doesn't make your life easier. That's why you can give somebody that doesn't understand money, you can give them a lot of money at one time, and they'll be broke in a year, right? Because they don't understand how to see it. It does just because you have it doesn't mean that it's beneficial, if that makes sense, you know. All right, so so hey, thank you, Monkey Man. I appreciate you. Now listen up, guys. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, wait a minute. I see I had a question here. Wait a minute. Valerie, thank you for that rose there, Valerie. I appreciate you. And then let me go back to your question. LC asked, wait a minute. So I got two questions. I wanted to start character work. Do you have to get pro with fundamentals and anatomy first? Absolutely not. Okay, look, wait, before I go any further, tell you what, this way we can do this. If you want to take a class with me, you can book classes right now. I got a class bundle going on. So you can take 3 classes with me. And I believe the class bundle is only 105. So it's 3 classes. You can go in there. You can ask whatever questions you want. I have answers. But yes, the easy answer to your question is you do not have to understand anatomy and be super professional to be able to start. In fact, when I started caricature, I didn't know anything about any of that. Only thing I knew is I knew how to draw somebody's face. Okay, but I will tell you what you need to be proficient at. Okay, what you do need to be proficient in is shapes, basic shapes. Those things, that basic shapes is I would, if I could do this, if I could recommend this to anyone, I would tell them to sit around and draw basic shapes a lot, like just randomly. If you're just sitting there and sit there and draw, and you'll start seeing how these shapes collaborate with drawing and what they can do. So really, all of these shapes that you see are my how can I put it? They are all stand-ins for anatomical shapes. So let me give you an example. If I'm drawing, let's just say eyes. One of the first ways I learned eyes was to do this, right? Now, a person that's this professional artist that just is bent on doing it this one particular way, they may argue, I'm in a class, son. Okay, I'll get it when I'm done. I'm in a class. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. My kids are. All right, so so I would take the tree leaf, right? And then what I did was I started doing this for every face. So watch how I could draw Paul McCartney's eyes real quick. Okay? Even though it's a stand-in. It's not the anatomical idea. It's just a stand-in for what you're trying to do. So this shape, right, means this shape to me. And it's no matter who I'm drawing. Let me go back. We already finished that Paul McCartney, so we can go to another drawing here. All right. So let's just say we got expressive photos here. Okay. If I go here, it doesn't matter. Wait, I can't. I don't know if I can get her face. Let me see here. Can I download that? No, I can't. Okay. Right. You see, I don't know if you could. I can't make her bigger. Some of these they won't let you make bigger. Let me see. Is this it? Okay. Here we go. All right. So if you look at her eyes, right? What is that shape of, right? If I look there, this shape right here is just simply this to me. I can do this, right? And then I can do, let me see this. What I did here was I changed the angle of the tree leaf a little bit. Okay. You see? So this shape is usable for like so many different types of eyes. Okay. And then what I started doing was cutting them in half and using them to draw like more sleeky looking eyes. If I didn't want them to be whimsical, like for her, she has like really, really big eyes. So I would want to use really big shapes for that. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's how I would do it. So go to basic shapes. Yes. All right. Now we're going to go to our next, what time we got here? 10:47. And we started at what? 10:50. Let's see. How did we start? Oh, we started at 9:54, 10:54. Okay, would be all right. So, guys, we got about maybe 5 minutes left of drawing. Um, Again, if you want to take the class, you can take the class with me at RowserWorld.com/classes. If you want to learn more about caricature, I have some behind the scenes videos there and some other stuff that we do ministry wise for you. So there are a lot of tips and tricks and resources to help you with this here. Now I also have a Patreon page. So if you want to check out our Patreon page, you can. This is our fan support ministry support page. So if you'd like to support us or keep this thing going where you feel like you're learning, you found your teacher, right? Then here you go. You guys can check us out at Patreon. And then finally, guys, if you wish to tip today, I know you guys can do the tips here with the little stickers and stuff like that. But if you want to tip through Cash App or whatever, I just want to give you guys the information so that you can tip through there as well. Thank you so much for your tips in advance, okay? So let's go ahead and get through this last drawing before we prepare ourselves for the word of the day, okay? So let's go ahead and make this smaller. And I'll tell you what, let's find an interesting face here. This thing has a lot of interesting face. I definitely recommend Pinterest. Let me see here for your drawings. Let me see here. Let's look at how many people that let me see. This one looks I don't know. Let's see if I can do that. I don't know. It looks like it could give you some. So let me see. What I'm going to do here, this is what I'll do here. I'm going to go with C's, a small C and a big C. And then on this side over here, she has big eyes to me. So I definitely want to go with something. You know what? I'm going to use a tree leaf just to show you what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay. This one's going to be a little bit smaller. We can work out those eyelashes there. Okay. We got your eye shapes. Okay. Okay. Just like so. All right. All right. Now we're going to go with her nose shape. Her nose shape is a soft, she has a very soft shaped nose. So what I would do here is I'm not going to show this curve up here. I'm just going to go from the middle of the nose and I'm just going to come down. And I'm just going to do something where it's like a shadow underneath it, just to keep from putting too much. And then for my lips, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to use you know what? I'm going to use a M. And then I just put my lip here. I don't know if this is going to be right. I'm going to try to fit that hand in there too, but I'm going to wait to the end here. Okay. Let me see. Now I'm going to do a little small chin here. Just small. And then, okay, let's go out here. Okay. And then we'll go over here to our hair, and then we'll go to our neck shape here. She has a sleek neck, and then I'll tell you what, where's that pinky? So pinky and pointer. Okay, and then the rest of your hands will go here. She has like some black fingernails. It's nice. All right. And then let's go over here. What's this? This is the pinky. Oh, sorry. Get back over here. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, hold on. Okay, so now let me see if I can get this in here. Okay, you got your pinky. And then you got that third finger. And then I got this finger here. And then this will be like her fingernails. Right? And then down here. We'll just go to the base of the hand. And then I don't know where this is going from here. It looks like it's kind of going in like this. That's a really big, I'm going to have to, something like this. I'm trying to see how I can make this make sense. Hold up. I didn't think about that before I did it. Let me see. I think I can still make it make sense. If I go here, I could go down here. Wait, here? And then just keep going through here. Yeah, I should have thought about that before I did it. I don't know what. Okay, maybe if I put like, because I can't really tell what's going on with her. Yeah, I kind of messed up there, but either way. Okay, let me see here. Let's go ahead and do this forehead shape. So we're going to do like this. I'm going to go with something big and tall here like this. I'm going to big square shape here so that when I bring this, it comes around. Does that. Whoa. All right. And then something like this. Okay. Again, remember, guys, your hair needs to translate from a distance. So it doesn't matter about all these details. That's what caricature is. If you're looking from somebody far away, what do they look like? I don't know what this is in her hair. I'm just going to put a little thing here like this, right? Okay. And then this right here just needs to be darker. That's what I would do, just darken this up. That's the only thing that's missing. Yeah, like that. Okay. And then we got the lip coming around. We got the lip coming around. All right. And let me see here. We just do like this here. Boom. Okay. All right, hold on, guys. Let me put this back in here. Boom. Okay, you got to do it again. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. All right. So, what times do lives? I would love to join and learn this. Oh, what time do I do lives? Okay, normally my lives are everything's in the description box below of the oh, I forgot we're on YouTube. So I'm also streaming live on YouTube at the same time. So on YouTube you can kind of see my face and all that kind of stuff. Hey, what's going on, Gordon? How are you? Man, I wonder what happened to Cherish. I hadn't heard from her in a minute. I'm gonna message her today. She's so right. Okay. I hadn't seen it in a minute, so. But yeah, it's usually going to be at 9:30 in the morning, Central Standard Time on Tuesdays and Saturdays. 9:30 in the morning. I stream for about 1 hour. In fact, this is where we're going to wrap up right here, right? So we can let you guys get about the rest of your day. Right? Yeah, I certainly enjoyed drawing with you guys today. Look at it. I still made it. I think that it. Let me see what I can do here. So this is the point, right? So this is here, and so this needs to go down here, and then this hand makes this. Now that one right there, it might have looked because I shouldn't have. If I put it there, I should have went out here and then. And join the arm here, like sort of make more sense. But I guess maybe because I'm pointing it out, it looks like that to y'all. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead, guys, and we're gonna get ready for our word of the day. Let's go ahead and sign our work real quick. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and get into our Geeky Ink caricatures. They're on there tonight too. Okay, so guys, give me just a moment here. I'm gonna switch over to my let me see. What would you say is a good way to get into doing independent caricature work? All right, so that's from the poor miserable sinner. Golly. Okay. I'm going to tell you the best way to get into it is the way I did it. Okay. I didn't have any, I didn't know, I knew how to draw a little bit and I took what little bit I knew I went and got some paper and pencil, and I made me a little easel, got me a little easel somewhere, and I just went down. I just went downtown. I just happened to be where there were tourists at too. I was in San Antonio when I started it, but I went over there and I got a easel, and I just literally went to the Riverwalk, sat on the stairs with an easel, and I started drawing people, and people just came up, and then that turned into the almost 20 years later. And then I just learned along the way. I mean, my drawings used to, oh my goodness, you're talking about they sucked. It sucked. Right? And, to some extent, I still think some of my drawings suck, but it's just, I know I've gotten better. You get what I'm saying? But as far as getting into it, it's just a matter of you're not going to know everything about it. You just get out there and do it. Okay? Hey, hold up, wait a minute. Put a boom in it. Boom. All right, what's going on? Gordon. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead, guys, and we're going to I'm going to go ahead and get my go ahead into our word of the day. So if you guys will give me just a moment here, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to what is this right here? Repeat all or repeat. Okay. All right. So guys, I want to again thank you so much for coming out the 2-hour live stream. It was certainly a pleasure to be able to have you here with me today. Okay. And so we're going to go ahead and get into our word of the day. And our word of the day is because I'm going to tell you, a lot of you guys have a lot of questions about caricature and all that, and that's all well and good. Okay. But in my almost 53 years of living, I'm going to tell you what I've seen and what I've noticed, that the Bible is real. That is real. Everything that I've never seen something so accurate in my life about like how you should do things, how I should behave, when should I say something, when should I not say something. My mother, I remember when I was younger, my mother would always have us read the book of Proverbs, even though I didn't know what all the scriptures and all that stuff meant. I knew to read the book of Proverbs. Let's go ahead and move this over here. Okay. So I knew to read the book of Proverbs. And in there, it gave me some just common sense directives that I could use right away to start improving the way that I saw the world. But then I'm going to go to this one scripture that just changed my life. And it was being transformed, be ye transformed by the renewing of the mind. All right. If you want to be good at caricature, for instance, right, you have to be transformed in the renewing of the mind. Today, what I did was I showed you guys a tree leaf. And then in that tree leaf, I showed you by taking that tree leaf that we can convert that tree leaf into eye shapes, right? And not only can we convert it into eye shapes, right? Now, get in mind, this is only one thing or one object, okay? So you may have thought before you came here today that you needed many objects or much experience, right, to be able to draw eyes, when really you only needed one, and then the one taught you many. That is a transformation of the mind. Your mind is forever going to be transformed when you look at eyes forever and ever. You'll say, wait a minute, what does Rouser mean when he was saying that? Oh, I see that tree leaf here in this person's eye. Or I see that same leaf, but it's going like this. Or I see one that's doing like this. Or I see one that's kind of cut in half and doing like this. And You get what I'm saying? So, and then what you start doing, what I started doing was, I'm going to tell you the thing that really changed over for me was I stopped drawing from a place of knowledge, because there's two ways to draw. You can draw from your head or you can draw from your heart. Okay? Your head is primarily concerned about what you're seeing and what you're processing. Okay? You'll be able to draw some stuff, but you'll never be able to touch the guy that can draw from his heart. I don't care how skilled you are. Your drawing won't say what his says. Your lines won't mean the same thing. And so the transformation, being transformed by the renewing of the mind, means to learn that, number one, you don't need as much as you think you need. That was the thing that transformed my life. I thought I needed a new car. I thought I needed a new girlfriend every week. I thought I needed to sleep with somebody different. I needed a lot of alcohol. I needed a lot of drugs. I needed a lot of this. I needed a lot of that. I needed a lot of that. And the thing was that all those things we're doing all those things we're really doing in that time was helping you to miss the point. And so by helping you miss the point, it developed. Remember, it says in the Bible that whatever controls you is your master. That's what the scripture says in 1 Peter. Whatever controls you is your master. Okay? I don't care whether it's a thought, whether it's someplace you got to go, whether it's someplace you feel you got to go. If it's a person, place, or thing, and you stop to consider this thing every time you make a move, this is the thing that's in control of you. You are not in control anymore. So when we draw pictures, the word of the day is, okay, look, our ministry is to connect God and art together, because God is art. He is the artist that created everything. He says in the beginning, he made heavens, he made earth, he made flowers, he made birds, he made all of these things. These things all took artistic ability. You get what I'm saying? So everything that you can create art from in this world has already been created by the one and only. It's already here. You can't make up nothing new. The only thing that you can do is put your spin on the one. You get what I'm saying? You use the one to create. Let me give you another example. And I think this is, before we read our little passage of scripture here, I'm going to show you what I mean. You want to be creative, right? Because really that's what this is being creative. So let me show you something, and then this is going to blow your socks off right here, okay? Yeah, I saw we had a lot of people leave when I started talking about that word of the day. Oh boy. Okay. But hey, you know what? I'm still going to pray for y'all. Y'all come on in. I'm still glad to have you here. But creative. Okay, what does creative mean? All right, let me draw a box. Okay. Now, if I told you, this is a room, and inside of this room, right, there's one way out. Okay. And that way, let's say, is over here. Okay. But in order to get this door to open, okay, you have to use these resources that are in your room. If you might have thought about maybe a scare room or anything like that, the creativity comes in. The only way you can get out of this door to open it is to use these things in this room to find your way out. But if I just came in the room and gave you a key, right, to this door, well, that doesn't take creativity at all. That's giving you the answer. You get what I mean? So therefore, your brain doesn't create things. So people say, I can't draw from my mind. It means that you are a person that's used to somebody giving you the answers all the time without wanting to figure them out. You don't want to think. And it's not an insult to anybody. It's just that it's an easier path. And sometimes we tend to take the path of least resistance. When I get classes, a lot of my students, some of my students, not all of them, want a one pill that solves all their problems, like to take the decision making out of caricature, and there's no or drawing, and there's no such thing as doing that. Okay, so in order to be creative, in order for you to get better at this, we need to unlock your creativity. And in order to your to unlock creativity, you have to be willing today to say, you know what? I'm going to use what I have today, that I have enough today, that everything I have enough today and I'm going to use what I have to make things better. Don't go out and start buying $100 markers, because now you're just going to make $100 mistake. You don't need $100 marker. In fact, none of my markers cost more than $1. Okay, none of these markers, except for maybe nope. I don't have a marker that costs more than $1 individually. Now a pack of Sharpies might cost me about $15 or something like that, but I don't have expensive markers because it's not the marker. It's your ability to be creative with what you have, to be content with what you have. To stop always thinking I gotta go to, I don't have enough in this room, I need to go to this room. There's no way out of this room. We're doomed if we can't get to the room across the hall, because in this room is not what I need. I'm doomed if I can't have another marriage or another husband, another wife, because I can't make this wife work. I can't make this family work because there's not enough. I can't. I'm saying I need somebody to give me the answer. I need an answer. I want the answer given to me. But God says, you know what? I already showed you how to overcome the world. The thing is, it says in here that the only way you can overcome the world is through a relationship with Jesus Christ. It's no other way. Other than that, you're going to live defeated every day. Every day, when it comes right down to it, you might look like you got it under control, but you panicking. Even the rich man, he's doing it too, because guess what? It says in here that every day he's alive, he knows he's dying. He can't take that money with him, and that's miserable. And then he got to give it to people that didn't work for it. That's even more misery. So let's read this right here. What is our word of the day today? Our word of the day is breaking free of unforgiveness. Okay? So we're going to go over to the book of Ephesians. If you guys have your Bible handy, I'm going to go over here to Ephesians. Let me take out out of there, excuse me. That's one of my actually favorite books back here. Let me see, it's back here with the Ians. Here we go, Ephesians. And we're going to go to Ephesians 4 and 32. Okay. Okay, and I got the scripture right here, so we'll just go ahead and read that. Forgive one another, it says in Ephesians 4:32. Forgive one another as quickly and thoroughly as God in Christ forgave you. Okay? That's how I live my life. Here recently, I think the best example of this is we just witnessed here in America. We had you guys, everybody has heard of the unfortunate accident with Mr. Kirk. And but what I want to focus on is his wife, and she was able to she talked at his memorial, and in front of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. She forgave the man that devastated her family. I don't care where you came from or who you are or what. Certainly you can relate to somebody that you care about a lot being murdered in cold blood in a horrible situation like that. If you can't feel that in your heart, this is not a God. It's more than just, there's a real issue in your heart. It's a real issue in your heart. If you can't just relate to that, take spirituality out of it. If you're a human being and you care about anybody on this planet, and that person was murdered in front of your face, right? Now it says here about unforgiveness. Now, forgive one another. She forgave as quickly as God in Christ forgave her, rather than her choosing to be in torment for the rest of her life She forgave because forgiveness is not about the person. Forgiveness is about releasing you from the dungeon, releasing you from the prison, releasing you from the hospital bed, releasing you from antidepressants. When we understand that these things that God has blessed us with don't belong to us, no person, no place, no thing. He has everything. He has considered everything. He is the source of everything. And that these things are merely things for us to be stewards of. I think that Miss Kirk realized that her husband she was a steward of her husband. She was here to support him and to love him and to push him forward in his purpose with God, because it even says in there that the man can be saved through his wife's prayer. And rather than give in to the anger and allow the whole world to see and get more ammunition, to use it, let the devil come in and have more ammunition for the world to use to say why God is not real, she said, I'm not going to do that. My husband's name, he's not going to die in vain. God still wants me to go forward with this. And in some ways, death, I remember I've lost many people in my family, and death has a refining effect on the soul. It makes you stronger. When you understand, I think about this all the time for myself. I can't be here forever. I'm 53 and I have two little boys. Little boys. I'm talking about 2 years old, 4 years old, 13 years. I'm going to be raising kids and I'm in my 70s. But I'm going to put that word of God in them because I know I can't be here for the rest of their life. The odds are, right? I don't know how long the Lord bless me to live, and I ask for a long life. And I believe in Jesus' name, he's going to give it to me. But at the end of the day, my job now is to put it in them so that they can survive and be strong, because it's not about me. It's not about their relationship with me. I would not dare disable and cripple my kids by letting them be too dependent on daddy. But rather, I'm going to give them something that's going to make me eternal. And that is the word of God. They'll always say, my dad said, and where did that come from? That came from the scripture. So if they want to hear their dad speak, all they got to do is open this book up. That's what I'm going to tell them. Dad, what do you think I should do? This right here. Read the book of Proverbs. Remember I said this? Oh, that's in this chapter. That's in this thing. And this is what this is what I'm teaching them. Okay? Forgiveness means release of you from the situation. Imagine the worst situation that's ever happened to you in your life. And imagine somebody made you stand there and watch it over and over and over and over and over again and over again. The worst thing that's ever happened to you, to relive it like Groundhog Day. Forgiveness is the breaking of that chain that's around your ankle and got you anchored to that spot. It's a release of you from that situation so that you are free to love again. You are free to rebuild again. But as long as you can't forgive, you're going to be locked into that spot for the rest of your life. Now it says, who do you spend the most time thinking about? Listen to that. Let's ask a question. Who do you spend the most time thinking about? Who? Those you love? Maybe. But there may be another group of people who fill your thoughts sometimes daily, who have hurt you. A long time ago, I can relate to this because I lived much of my life like this. I would be in the house with my wife. I would be in the house with my daughter, my children. And but my mind was back when I was a kid. And I couldn't get rid of this thought of somebody hanging me upside down from a bunk bed and taping my body up like taping it with duct tape and then beating me until blood just came out. That actually happened to me. Okay? And I kept living that moment over and over and over and over again. And the reason that I lived it over and over again, it was a lot of reasons. But number one, this was somebody that was very close to me. Okay? That somebody that was overcome by the spirit of the devil. I'm not mad at this person anymore. But the devil, the spirit, overtook them and allowed them to do this to their own child. Okay? But when I found out about forgiveness and what it was and why it was important, and I actually believed what God said and I gave it to him, he released me from that. And I no longer think about that anymore. I can be a happy husband and a happy father. My relationship with my daughters and my sons are all healed and stuff because now I don't hold that on my heart no more. I'm free to love something. I'm free to love other people. This ministry that we have at RowserWorld is about my expression of thankfulness. Thank you, Jesus. It's my expression of thankfulness for what he's done for me. If it wasn't for that he said, you know what? Not only you going to forgive them, because as fast as you forgive them, look, I'm going to forgive you because you know what? I made mistakes in my life. Guess what? Don't you want somebody to forgive you? Is there somebody right now you want to talk to that you just hadn't talked to in a long time? And it's because you did something to them? Don't you want them to forgive you? So that's what this is. It's like God forgives us. He instructs us to forgive others. It says you may replay these misdeeds that this person did over and over again and often. The more you think about them, the angrier you get. The angrier you get, the more hurt you feel. The more hurt you feel, the more blame you place on the offender. Listen, the young man that did what he did with Mr. Kirk, this is what happened to him. This was not about the person Charlie Kirk to him. It had nothing to do with him. It was all about the hurt that was inside of him. The unforgiveness that was inside of him. And the more he concentrated on it, the more he hurt and the more he had to find somebody to blame it on. Just so happened Charlie Kirk was the guy that he blamed it on. And he felt justified in that moment to take out his anger on this man. That had nothing to do with what he was feeling inside. I mean, at the end of the day, was Mr. Kirk saying something that was never said before in human history? That's the same thing. The same message has been repeated through all of human history. The things that are happening right now that are pissing these children off, right, have been happening all throughout history of human beings. All throughout. But what's the difference? What are we learning from this? It's not about those things. It's about who they've chosen to be in their mind inside. That there's not enough ministry. There's not enough people out here wanting to make a difference. Stop using their platforms to show their body off. Or how big their biceps are and all that kind of stuff that doesn't mean anything in the big scheme of things. I want a better world, but they won't do one thing to make the world better, or even their neighborhood, or even their family. However, you can give forgiveness even when there's no apology, even when the offender never asked to be pardoned. Doesn't mean that the person that you're forgiving is didn't do anything to you. We're not taking that apart. And to forgive them doesn't necessarily mean you have to talk to them anymore. Forgive them doesn't mean that you have to be in the same house with them anymore. Forgiveness means that you don't walk around with this anger because it gives foothold to the devil. You're going to hurt somebody else because of unforgiveness that had nothing to do with the person. In other words, road rage is not about road rage. Road rage was the person was already mad before they got there. They just needed a reason to do something to somebody. And that gave them the reason. That's what unforgiveness is. It's not about this person apologizing to you and, oh, let's be hunky-dory. I can forgive you and never speak to you again. Because you know what? Sometimes a person's energy just doesn't need to be around your energy. That's not the right energy. But you're not sitting there in a room thinking about this person all day and what you want to do to them and what you want to say to them, because that's crippling. Be transformed by the renewing of the mind. Don't argue with the truth. Transform how you think about things. Everything is not physical in this world. Everything is see it. Everything is not see it and believe it. Everything doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. And finally, you should forgive as God forgave you, to prevent a bitter root from springing up in your heart. Are you willing to let go of the offense you are holding on to? When you choose forgiveness, it's just unforgiveness is like choosing to die. Because eventually what all unforgiveness leads to is you losing who you are, who God called you to be, the awesome person that you are, the inventor, the explorer, the creator. You know what I'm saying? The visionary, the success, all of that stuff is at your fingertips. One thing holding you back. You keep using all your brain power to think about something that somebody did to you a long time ago. Instead of, you don't have to, people think, and then I'm going to say this before as I go, people think you got to go back to fix a problem. You got to go back and figure out what started that problem. No, you don't. What you have to do is from that day forward, live as if the problem doesn't exist. Forgiveness means to live your life as if that thing never happened. Did you know, and this is science, that you can tell yourself a lie so long that you'll begin to believe that lie? The devil understands that. You can tell yourself something a long time, and he knows that if you hear something over and over and over again, eventually it will be ingrained into your mind. But God knows this as well. If you keep telling yourself that I forgive this person, that I'm going to overcome this, that God has great plans for me, that I can't stay down even though I am down. I got to get up. I got to keep fighting. He can't have me. I'm not going for this anymore. No. You say that and you consistently do it and you walk in it, I'm telling you, your life is going to change. But you do it with the power of the Holy Spirit, not through human power. Receive God's love today. Receive what he's saying to you. Let go of this worldly stuff. Let go of it. It's holding you back. You're bigger than a big screen TV. You're bigger than a trip on Carnival Cruise. You were called to be a man or woman of God good fathers, good mothers, good brothers and sisters, employers, citizens, leaders. This is what you were called to be. And since the enemy knows that's what you were called to be, he's going to continue to lie to you. As it says in the scripture, until at the end, when you get old and your eyes can't see as well anymore, and your ears, until he feels that you're no longer a threat. He just lets you waste your whole life away. And now you're old and cynical. You have nobody around you. That's our word of the day. As I'm ending this, guys, I'm going to tell you, my wife and I worked at, or my wife worked at a seniors facility. And I would go there and I would talk to the seniors sometime. And I can remember this one lady, older lady, and she was there all alone. Her kids would never come see her. She developed quite a liking for my wife. She had liked my wife a lot because my wife was, always real cared about her a lot and stuff. And would sit and listen and talk to her. And she said that, she described what I'm telling you today. She was just most of her life an angry, bitter person. Ex-husbands and, the stuff that women go through. And she never stopped to think about, like, the anger she hadn't dealt with, the things she hadn't forgiven, how she was affecting her kids. Because she was mad at her family. She wouldn't take her kids to go see the family, so therefore the kids didn't know who their family was, and family broke up, and but she had a lot of money. Oh yeah, she had money. But guess what? Her kids disdained her so much they didn't want her and they didn't want her money. They told her to write a check and put it in the casket with her. Because we don't care about your money and we don't care about you. Because of that. Because she had wasted all her life fighting a battle she was never meant to fight. Forgiveness means to give it to God and let him handle it. And you no longer have that anger in your heart for that person. Okay? So guys, I want to thank y'all for coming out today to the live stream. I certainly appreciate your time, because you could be anywhere right now, and you're here, and who am I? I'm nobody. So you can see how I feel blessed right now. I feel blessed that if one person stayed for the word of the day, I'm not a guy. I know God does. See, God says in the scripture, I'll show you how to take a little bit and make it a lot. And I know he did, because he fed the 5,000, didn't he? Right? The same thing with this caricature stuff. Take a small concept, make it into a grand thing. Okay? So you guys forgive. If it's somebody out there that you are holding something against, you want to get better at this art thing, you want to get into caricature, you want to be a better artist, you want to take your art to a whole new level, you can go there. You can do it. I know you can do it. But the first thing you got to do, listen, is you got to be transformed by the renewing of your mind and the renewing of the heart. A new question: why do you want to be a caricature artist? Are you being is your question so I can make money? You probably won't do well. You might get some money, but you're not going to ever feel fulfilled by it. Eventually, it's going to burn out. But if you get in and say, you know what, I'm going to do this because it brings joy to people. It brings people together to laugh and to talk, and you can find out about people, and you can broaden your horizons and your scope about how people think. I've been looking at people's faces so long that I can notice the slightest a bit of change in attitude, or if they're going through something. It's like God gave me this way to look right into their spirit and feel what's not being said. Ooh, that's powerful. And you know what? It's helped every other relationship. So caricature to me is not about just drawing pictures. I'm not here to show off for you. We're not here to show off for each other. But what we're here to do is use art to bring us together. That's what RowserWorld is. I want to use this to bring you together. I want us to be able to go into our chat section and nobody's making a negative comment. I want us to go there and you can share, you can come. And if you need me to pray for you for something, man, by all means, brothers, sisters, let me know right now. I'll pray with you right now. Because that's what this is all about. Okay? So guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Finally, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the information for our classes. Again, if you want to take a class, don't forget, go to Patreon. Our website here, RowserWorld.com/classes. If you want to join our Patreon page, you want to hear a little bit more about art, you want to hear more about the spiritual sides of life, you want to hear of more things that can uplift you and grow you, you want to really experience the power of God in your life, that's where you want to go. Because it's all about us taking our story. That's what Patreon is. I'm taking my story and I'm putting it out there for you in pieces so you can learn about drug addiction. You can learn about pornography addictions. You can learn about bad husbandism, good husbandism, what it's like to be a father and a daughter, what that relationship is supposed to look like, the problems that I have sometimes. All of these things I talk about, and I just draw sometimes too. Okay? So that's what this is all about. And finally, guys, if you wish to tip today because you feel like you received from the drawing, we were drawing, because the Word of God is always, there's no price on that. But if you learn from our art portion and you want to tip the artist, thank you so much. I appreciate you in advance. Okay? So guys, y'all have a blessed and awesome day. I'm going to see you guys in the next live stream, which is going to be at 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, Tuesdays and Saturdays. I promise, guys, this Thursday I will do a Spanish stream. I meant to do one yesterday, but something happened where I couldn't because I have kids. So sometimes things go off schedule, and I'm the only one that does this particular part. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. God bless you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream. So let me go ahead and get out of here.